Hi, my name is Jeremiah Wilson, and this is Disaster Management in Pakistan. From Crisis to Resilience, Understanding Pakistan's Evolving Framework. Okay. So Pakistan's disaster journey from crisis to reform. In 1958, West Pakistan National Calamities Act and the reactive approach, they focused on relief. 2005, the Kashmir earthquake catalyst to reform era, the ERRA had just got established. In 2010, Management Act, there's a Natural Disaster Management Act formalized multi-tiered structure. In 2013, National Disaster Risk Reduction Policy Guided DRR and interventions just happened. And then in 2025, and then in the future 2030, National Disaster Risk Reduction Strategy aligns with the global frameworks. Here's the key transformation. Shift from post-disaster relief to structured disaster risk management DRM approach. From HOC to institutional. Establishment of formal authorities like NDMA and devolution to district governments. From fragmented to integrated. Emphasis on preparedness, mitigation, and risk reduction alongside response and recovery. The 2005 Kashmir earthquake, this is the biggest turning point. 7.6 magnitude earthquake, 75,000 deaths, and it was immense destruction, and then 75,000 plus injuries. Before, it was reactive approach to disasters, HOC response mechanisms, limited institutional capacity, and West Pakistan National Calamities Act of 1958. After this happened, it was the establishment of the ERRA, the National Dialogue on Formal Authority, shift to structured DRM approach, and catalyst for NDMA establishment. Multi-tiered implementation framework. The National Disaster Management Authority, federal level formulation and coordination. Provincial Disaster Management Authorities, PDMAs, provincial level implementation and coordination. District Disaster Management Authorities, DDMAs, district level preparedness and response. The implementation pattern looked very confused. Theoretical structure, top-down policy making, and decentralized implementation. They had implementation challenges, and the military had a good role in this situation. The financial constraints, it was limited budget allocation for disaster management. They were short on human resources. They had technical limitations and overlapping mandates. Pakistan's disaster risk profile. Geographic vulnerability zones. The KP earthquake risk, is high, flood prone, moderate to earthquakes, temperature, cyclone season. The major disasters they have: floods, droughts, heat waves, and earthquakes. And the recent impact was in 2010, they had a flood, and it was 20 million affected and 10 billion in economic losses. Then in 2022, they had 33 million affected, and there was a flood, $30 billion in economic loss. Key players in disaster management. The key players is National Framework, National Disaster Management Authority, the Provincial Disaster Management Authorities, the DDMA, the Ministry of Climate Change, the military, Earthquake Reconstruction Authority, non-governmental organizations, and international organizations that can help too. Barriers to effective management. Let's go with implementation gaps, technical limitations, financial constraints. We can get rid of those. Limited budgets, allocations for preparedness and mitigation efforts, impede investment in infrastructure. The human resource constraints, the coordination issues, and the capacity deficits. Here's a key insight. The risk-poverty nexus highlights how disasters disproportionately impact vulnerable communities, exacerbating poverty and making recovery more challenging. In 2022, mega floods, and this is a climate wake-up call, man. Affected population 33M, displaced people 8M, 30 billion economic losses, and 1,730 fatalities, man, all due to the flooding and related causes. From disaster to adaptation strategy, an accelerated policy development, data-driven recovery, climate adaptation measures, and multi-sector collaboration. Building Pakistan's resilient future. Current challenges is the implementation gaps. There's a weak policy execution at district level. They got human resource constraints, technical limitations, outdated early warning systems, coordination issues, overlapping mandates among agencies, and risk poverty nexus. Disasters impact vulnerable communities. Opportunities for resilience is enhanced risk understanding, learning from 2022 floods, using information for effective recovery, building and elevated structures, building back better after disasters, and constitutional devolution to districts. Pakistan's journey reflects a significant evolution from reactive to proactive frameworks, bridging policy and practice, addressing capacity limitations, and ensuring sustained financial commitment are crucial for building true resilience against diverse and increasing disaster risk, especially in the face of climate change. Here's all my references. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. My name is Jeremiah Wilson, and this is my project. Peace out.